I think it's ready. Everyone ready? Cool. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Suno Kwan. I'm going to be very frank and honest. I made this slide a year ago, and I'm going to reuse it. I have no idea what's in this, so I'm going to play it by the ears. Hopefully, I can recall my memories and sort of give you an idea of what the life of IID senior is like and what comes after that. So today's talk will be about what kind of a designer will you be. So as introduced, my name is Suno Kwan. I double majored comparative literature and information and interaction design. I was admitted at Yonsei in 2017 and I graduated last year, February. I was the head of the exhibition at 2023 and I was also the head TA for IID 2023. So I was also a major rep, I think, because we didn't have a major rep at the time. So if you have any questions about running the exhibition, preparing your individual exhibitions, or like any kind of administrative stuff, I can totally help you out because seniors tend to do that. And also, I'm currently a PhD student and a researcher at Georgia Tech, majoring human-centered computing, and my research currently surrounds deaf and spiritual technologies as well as technology for queer populations in Korea. Now, before I begin my talk, I would like to ask you a question as a part of the experiment that Eugene is doing as well. Why do you think we do exhibits? Why do you think we do graduation exhibits or senior exhibitions? Anyone?
Interesting question.
Yes.
Why do we exhibit?
What's the point of this? Oh no, don't be so shy.
To show off
To show off. To whom?
our classmates.
Ooh, cool. Okay. Any other idea?
I would say for the other coming students to see what actually like being an IID student and graduating as IID students.
Nice. So it's kind of like a representation of what our major is to non-IID people, or maybe people who are coming into Yonsei. Sure, good answer. One last person? If not, I'm not going to force you because I've been there as well. So, as I was preparing for the spring semester exhibition, I think. So we always do exhibition at the end of the semester, right? So I was a major rep and the exhibition head for that as well. So I was preparing this, and then Professor Hyunjung Kim, who runs Intro to IID, right? She comes to me and she's like, "Oh, Suno, are you doing a senior exhibition this year?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then she was like, "Oh my God, I wonder what kind of a designer you came to be," because she hasn't taught me in 6 years. So I was like, lots of pressure and I have to show you what kind of a designer I've become. But I thought that was a really good question because I thought senior exhibition is making a statement of what kind of a designer that you have become for the past 4+ years that you have spent in IID. And at the same time, it's a chance to make a statement of what kind of a designer you want to be after graduation. So what kind of a designer have I came to be after my I went to school for 7 years. So what kind of a designer have I become after 7 years of experiences in IID? So there are so many different aspects of design that we have experienced in the past IID years, right? So for some of you, you might have enjoyed visual systems or communicating with type, which means that you're more of an aesthetic designer or a visual designer. Or some of you might have enjoyed UXRM or interaction design, which says that you're more interested in finding solutions for wicked problems and using technologies to sort of solve these wicked problems. Or maybe you might have enjoyed Todd's classes, like making prototyping courses or interaction designs or VR or AR. Does Todd do AI designs now? Yeah, so making prototypes and services, those might have excited you a little more. And for me, what excited me the most about this IID was it was taking a more human-oriented approach in utilizing technologies. So if we, for example, think of computer sciences or mechanical engineering, it's about making this cutting-edge technologies, right? But for us, those are given to us. The speech-to-text technologies are given to us, and as designers, it is our role to change that into Siri or Bixby or any kind of services. So to me, what I've taken from IID was that design is the bridge that connects humans and technologies. And as designers, we decide how people interact with these given technologies. And in a way, design is a way of shaping future, how people live with these technologies. So as design researchers, I wanted to become someone who seeks an answer and also poses a question on a more human way of perceiving technologies through design. Hence, my goal of the exhibition piece was to provoke a discussion on a healthier future for human-technology relationship. And let's move into how I actually did my exhibitions. So I exhibited 3 different pieces. To be fair, I prepared this for like a really long time. So I was discharged from the military at 2022 November, and I was preparing for my exhibition pieces from 2022, I think June. And then I came into the senior project 1 in 2023 fall semester, and then I had a whole period to like prepare everything. So I was like very ready to do this exhibition. I was excited, which may not be the case for all of you. So don't be pressured. But anyways, my first piece was called an AI fortune teller. It was a short documentary on people's usage of career counseling AI, which was actually operated by a mudang. So this is a 13-minute video. I am starting to be a little hungry, so let's actually watch this video. Oh, I have taken it. No, actually, I moved it. There we go. Some of you might already watched it during the interaction design this Tuesday, but please enjoy. There are so many notifications. See, bad UX people. Take note.
질문을 하면 될까요?
바로 해볼게.
첫 번째는 내가 뭘 생각해야 될 때, 메일을 쓰거나 보고서를 쓰거나 그래야 될 때 도움을 좀 받는 편이고요.
채찌로 아이디에이션 같은 거 한다거나 카피라이팅 해야 될 때 그런
궁금한 거 있거나 호기심으로 몇 번 해본 적은 있는데 그렇게 활용이 높은 편은 아니에요.
신뢰하지는 않지만 세상이 워낙 빠르게 돌아가고 있어서 시대의 흐름에 따라 점점 관심이 생기고 있는 중입니다.
아직 그렇게 신뢰를 하진 않아요. 정보 취득 차원에서 알아보는 정도지 얘 말을 좀 믿어야겠다라는 그건 아니었기 때문에
없는 거보다는 낫지 않을까요? 나보다 훨씬 많은 데이터를 기반으로 그런 거를 걔가 다 해서 한 걸 테니까 내가 직감으로 느끼는 거보다 훨씬 낫지 않을까요?
데이터베이스가 있으니까 여기서 이제 데이터를 기반으로 뭔가를 뽑아내는 거잖아요. 그렇다면 어느 정도 신뢰할 수 있지 않을까요?
얘기를 다 들었을 때 처음 떠오르는 게 좀 기상청이 떠올랐는데 과거의 데이터에 기반을 해서 앞을 예측한다는 게 맞아 들어가는 부분들이 굉장히 많기 때문에 신뢰성을 완벽하게 할 수 없더라도 어느 정도는 보장이 된다고 생각합니다.
근데 정보들이 단축이 되면 얼마나 돼요? 질문을 하면 될까요?
일단 바로 해볼게요.
보냈어요. 오,
오. 내가 이런 질문을 했었다는 게 너무 웃긴데.
오, 도움이 많이 되는데요? 네, 대답이 이렇게 매우 시원시원하게 나오고 이 친구는 저에 대한 성향을 파악하고 대답을 해주는 느낌이 나요. 내가 지금 쉬어도 되는 건가 이렇게 아리송했는데 딱 쉬세요라고 말을 해주니까
오히려 인간관계에 있어서 하지 못하는 말들이 있어요. 그런 말들을 가감없이 해줄 수 있다는 점에서 어쩌면 이게 진짜 나에게 도움이 되는 말일 수 있지 않을까? 그런 생각을 좀 하게 돼요. 본인 스스로도 느끼고 있던 점들에 대해서 한 번 더 짚어준 것 같아요.
제가 마지막 질문으로 돈도 벌고 싶기도 하고 명예도 중요한데 어떤 게 내 인생에 도움이 될까라는 질의를 했거든요. 제가 명예에 대한 욕심이 큰 편이라고 하네요. 이건 아마 제가 입력한 데이터를 베이스보다 그런 답변이겠죠. 네, 사실 제가 명예에 대한 욕심이 큰 사람이구나라는 확실하게 생각을 해본 적은 없는데 이 답변을 듣고 아 그래 내가 그랬구나라고 갑자기 깨달음이
제가 아직 늦지 않았으니까 좀 병행해보라고 얘기를 하는 것뿐이 한편으로는 좀 위안이 되는 것 같기도 하고.
크게 도움이 안 됐습니다.
막 엄청 도움되진 않았어요.
내가 느꼈을 때 이건 아닌데라고 느껴지는 부분도 있었고 그런 고민은 계속 할 것 같아요. 뭐 주변 사람들한테 조언도 구하고 안 하고도
상담이라는 것이 내가 두리뭉술한 걸 던져도 두리뭉술하면 너가 던진 건 두리뭉술해. 나에게 더 이러이러한 정보를 줘서 내가 이걸 더 잘 말할 수 있게 해줘. 신청한 사람도 그만큼 더 인풋을 줘야 될 거 아니에요.
굉장히 좀 애매한 왜 이런 결과가 나왔는지에 대한 뭔가 의심이 좀 없으니까 그런 것 같습니다. 라고만 얘기를 하니까 도움이 됐다라고 해서
뭐 어떻게 만들었을까 이걸? AI의 뒷단에서 어떤 일들이 일어나는지를 저는 전혀 알지 못해서
어떤 원리를 통해서. 근데 제 생각에는
그때 이런 얘기를 할 수 있을까 생각했을 때 아닌 것 같아요. 그 다른 데이터베이스가 큰 게 있을 텐데 그게 어떤 거일지는
이 직업을 가진 사람이 이런 진로시 이 직업을 선택하고 이 직업을 했던 사람이 다른 길로 빠졌고 이런 데이터베이스를 찾아서 저와 비슷한 예시 사례를 찾을 수 있는가 그런 생각이 드네요.
재밌네요. 그럼 이분한테는 어떤 정보가 들어간 거예요? 뭐 생시 이런 건 필요하죠. 그럼 이분은 뭘 보시고?
와 점집이었네. AI가 아니시잖아요. 그렇네요. 와 그렇네.
실험가요? 그러면은 부장분한테 제가 그 그걸 조사했다면 그걸 안 드렸어요. 아 신기하다. 신기하네.
신의 데이터베이스 어쩐지 나를 깨뜨리고 있죠.
신뢰까지는 하지 않으라 많이 참고를 해요. 그래서 힘든 일이 있을 때 많이 생각을 하고 조언을 많이 얻어요. 미래에 대한 걸 물어보는데 질문에 관한 거 제일 많이 물어보거든요.
믿는다, 나누자면 믿는다는. 근데 매몰되지 않으려고 노력하는. 그런데 정말 그런 일이 일어났을 때, 뭔가 있을 수 있겠다. 그 정도. 사실 지금 상황에 대한 해결책을 물어보는 것은 저런 것을 더 조금은 위안을 얻으러 가는 거라는 생각을 했어요.
사실 뭔가 맞는 것 같아서.
사고랑 와 있는지는 지금도
기분 좋으라고 하신 말씀일 수도 있겠지만 앞으로 팔자가 좋으니까 이런 데 안 와도 된다. 나도 그렇고 딴 데는 그렇고 찾아다니지 마라. 사람들이 믿으니까 또 많이 되는 것 같기도 하고 얘기해요.
근데 그건 있는 것 같아요. 제가 그랬어요. 이 AI는 어떤 식으로 우리한테 정보를 주는지를 알잖아요. 근데 제가 점쟁이를 신뢰를 못하는 이유는 내가 그 사람한테 주는 정보가 없어.
자존심 문제가 크게 있는 것 같아요. 제가 사주를 걸어가서 그거를 좀 믿겠다고라는 것을 이렇게 했을 것 같아요. 일을 정해주는 건 아니잖아요. 그런데 값어치가 있을까요?
그냥 토론으로 가고 뭔가 답을 받으러 가거나
고민하는 걸 입 밖에 내는 것 자체로 어느 정도 좀 해소감이 있는 것 같고
애초에 진로라는 게 내가 알아서 하면 되는 건데 AI도 없고 부담도 없어요. 그러면은 나는 친구를 찾아가고 부모님을 찾아갈 거란 말이죠. 근데 그 사람들이 그렇게 해라고 한다고 내가 그렇게 할 건 아니고 그 사람들이랑 대화를 하면서 내가 진짜 원하는 걸 알게 되잖아요. 근데 내가 여태까지 그런 걸 좋아하긴 했지. 맞아. 뭐 이런 식으로 그거를 통해서 내가 알게 되잖아요.
답변을 얻기 위해서가 제일 커먼한 이유일 것 같은데 첫 번째는 아니 얻고 싶어서라고 생각을 하고
AI한테 물어볼 때는 제가 아는 지식이 정보가 아니기 때문에 지식을 얻기 위한 게 많아요. 하고 굉장히 물어볼 때는 스스로 객관화가 잘 안 되고 답답하니까 다른 답변이 있을까? 뭐 그런 것도 있고 또 누가 하려서 하면은 좀 책임감이 덜 들기도 하고 남 탓도 할 수 있고 내가 결정하면 다 내 탓인데 틀리거나 맞거나 했을 때 그거에 대해서 딱히 누굴 탓할 그게 없다 스피서는 맞아도 그만 틀려도 그만 반반이 마음으로 되는 것 같아요.
두 번째로는 확인받고 싶어. 내가 잘하고 있는 거.
저는 그게 확신을 얻기 위해서라고 생각해요. 사실 어떻게 해도 되는데 어떻게 해도 다시 되돌릴 수는 없으니까 최대한 그래도 더 좋은 선택을 하고 싶은 거고 하는 데 있어서 내가 최선을 다했다는 느낌도 좀 받고
어쨌든 이런 진로를 택할 거긴 한데 그래도 좀 받아들일 수 있는 사람한테 한번 물어보자. 주변 친구들한테 물어봤자 어차피 경험도 없을 뿐더러 이 직업에 대해서 알지도 못하니까 신청이나 AI나 여기는 내가 사실 이 길을 택할 거긴 한데 이 사람 의견이 좀 맞겠지라고 긍정적인 생각을 하고 물어보는 것 같아요. 정해놨다기보다는 좀 마음속에 좀 확신이 좀 있을까? 나 이거 선택을 할 건데 이 사람도 나한테 긍정적인 대답을 주지 않을까?
심적 안정을 주기 때문 아닐까요? 나의 생각을 누군가가 강화해준다.
제가 좀 이해한다는 얘기를 많이 했잖아요. 어딘가 뭐 찾아가서 답을 구하는 거는 좀 위안을 위해서라는 생각이 있다고 생각을 해서
저희 아버지가 옛날에 막 좋다는 거 있죠. 그런 것도 완전 있단 말이에요. 그런 거 하고 와서 효빈아 너는 어딜 가도 부장님들 너를 돌봐준단다. 너는 하늘에서 내려온 장군이래 뭐 이러면서 엄청 신나서 그걸 말할 수도 있는데 근데 이게 진짜 웃기는데 그래 나는 하늘에서 내려온 장군이니까 어딜 가도 나를 도와줄 거야 해서 그래서 이게 막 종교도 아니고 뭣도 아닌데 그냥 나는 뭐 어디 가든 내 주먹이 돌봐준대 아니다 보니까 그런 차원에서 조금 좋은 말 듣고 싶어서 가는 것 같아요. 응원의 힘인 거잖아요.
잘 바뀌지 않았습니다.
바뀌지 않았습니다. 왜냐하면 아까 말했다시피 나 똑같은
아니요, 크게 바뀌지 않았습니다. AI가 됐든 무당이 됐든 이런 인풋을 갖고 결정하는 건 저니까 이 인풋에 대해서 어느 정도 신뢰를 하냐, 무당이 썼으냐, AI가 썼으냐에 따라 조금씩 달라지겠지만 딱히 무당이었다고 해서 막 이게 신뢰도가 없다거나 그러지 않을 것 같아요.
조금 더 힘이 더 들어가서 AI랑 했을 때 제가 AI에 대한 신뢰도가 아까 70%라고 했지만은 AI 개발하신다고 해서 응원 잘 70%라고 한 거고 AI가 질문하는 사람은 안 할 것 같은데 제가 듣고 싶었던 답변이기도 해서 뭔가 힘이 실리지 않았나.
제가 계속 좀 지금 좀 일단 한 상태에서 이거를 좀 병행하면서 준비해보는 것도 괜찮다고 하고 일단 혼자라고 하니까 조금 더 준비를 해야 되지 않을까 캐릭터 있게 한 것도 이미 내 안에 다리 되고 있어요.
진짜 제 꿈이에요 그거는. 내가 언젠가 하고 싶은 게 있어서 할 것 같아요. 엄청 제가 찾아볼 것 같아요. 엄청 자료 많이 찾아보고 실제로 해외에서 강의하는 사람들한테 더 연락해보고 신청보고 이렇게 가도 돼. AI가 지금 가도 돼라고 했을 때는 일일이 찾아보고 또 열심히 해보고 이렇게까지는 안 하거든요. AI가 만약 나한테 가지 마세요라고 하면은 왜 가지 말라는 건지 납득을 하기 위해서 더 찾아볼 것 같아요. 하고 후회하는 거랑 안 하고 후회하는 거에서 무조건 하고 후회하거든요. 물론 슬프겠지만 그래도 더 하고 싶으니까. 지원이 될 만한 정도로 안고 가야겠다는 생각이 들었어요.
내가 이거를 이제 질문하면서 느꼈는데 나는 이미 답이 있어. 그러니까 뭔가 내가 결정하고서 뭔가를 질문하는 게 있어. 얘한테 뭔가 내가 대답을 바래서 질문을 한다기보다는 질문하면서 내가 어떤 대답이 듣고 싶었구나를 좀 정리하게 돼서 이건 다 똑같은 것 같아. 전문가가 뭐 앞에 지금 이렇게 얘기하는 거. 무당이 근데 이제 뭐 앞으로 이런 일이 생기거나 이런 것들 얘기하는 거나 그거에 대해서 질문하고 정보를 얻고 조언을 구하는 건 좋은데 주체가 내가 아니라 걔가 내가 만들죠. 그래서 오늘 이제 주식이 뭐가 더 상한데 해가지고 개발 따라 내가 하는데 내가 망하는 거지 얘가 망하는 거 아니잖아요. 그렇게 했다가 괜히 내가 한 선택에 대해서 결과물에 대한 핑계를 떠넘길 것 같아서 그런 건 조심해야 될 것 같아요.
저는 어떤 사람이 말해도 그거를 제대로 하는 거 객관적으로 나보다 인사이트가 있는 AI다, 있는 신이다 라고 확정을 지을 수 없기 때문에 얘 말은 한번 따라보면 가치가 있다라는 결론이 나오기 때문에
예측은 잘할 수 있고 그 분석도 되게 잘할 수 있고 나에게 필요한 것도 잘 줄 수 있지만 100% 걔네가 다 맞지 않잖아요. 여기는 내 도시니까 절대 들어가지 마라고 한다고 내가 너무너무 들어가고 싶으면 난 그래도 들어갈 걸. 그걸 내가 모르는 게 아닐 텐데 들어가고 싶으면 내가 알아서 그 생각이 들어서 자존심 상하게 공감이 가고
그 약간 응원도 되는 느낌이 들고 영상한테 말해주셔서 아주 위로받는 느낌도 들고 약간 용기도 받고 내가 조금 다른 시도를 해보고 싶어서 있다.
인간 영역 밖에 무언가를 들고 있는 거잖아요. 그런 거를 존경하는 마음이 있을 수도 있고 그런 거를 신뢰하는 마음이 있을 수도 있고 말씀하신 대로 설명이 안 되잖아요. 어차피 설명이 안 되는데 그냥 믿어야지.
So this project began with the contemplation that AIs are really similar. The way we utilize AIs are really similar to the way we seek fortune tellers. So we go there, we don't really understand how it works, and they tell us something to do, and we sort of do that. And I thought that was really interesting because fortune telling is a prehistoric, pre-scientific method that has no scientific grounds or whatever. And AI is the cutting edge, the most technologically advanced things that we have right now. And the way we utilize them were basically the same, at least back at the time when we were making this video. So we wanted to sort of juxtapose those usage and question, why do we do that? Why do we want to do that? And through this piece, we wanted to sort of show that regardless of using fortune telling or AI, our goal is to sort of navigate through the unknown and the unsettling future that we can't really seek. And at the same time, when the participants thought that this advice was given by the AI, they had a certain opinion about this advice, right? And when it was revealed that it was actually not an AI and a fortune teller, we thought they would actually change their perspectives of like, oh, if it's like fortune telling, I don't trust it anymore because it's not scientific. But that wasn't the case. People were like, oh no, like it really doesn't matter if it was AI or fortune telling. It's me who decides. It is I who hold the agency. And that sort of empowers us as humankind in the age of AI because we're so unsettled by AIs taking over or us losing our agencies in the future because AI is going to take over our lives. But that wasn't the case. We're navigating through our lives as the way that we have always been, wonderfully messy and uncertain and holding agency. And that's why I put this particular sentence at the end of this piece.
하는 마음이 있을 수도 있고 그런 거를 신뢰하는 마음이 있을 수도 있고 말씀하신 대로 설명이 안 되잖아요. 어차피 설명이 안 되는데 그냥 믿어야지.
We can't really say, based on this remark, whether I asked, what do you think of the AI or what do you think of the fortune telling? This statement can hold true to both. So that was sort of the question that I wanted to, like a discussion that I wanted to sort of provoke through this piece. So that was my first piece and a main piece, I think. And then my second piece was existence effacement service. So through my undergrad years in IID, most of my projects were centering around death-related technologies. So in my interaction design and UXRM class, I designed a Instagram commemoration profile page where people can use their social media as like a commemoration curation page. And once people die, it turns into a commemoration page. And in my capstone project, I made a digital legacy curation for young adults. So you sort of compile your photos in your phone and you curate a physical package that will be sent out after you die. So death was something that resonated throughout my undergrad years in IID. And I sort of wanted to make an ode to that. So existence effacement service is an interactive piece where the audiences were invited to write an application of existence effacement service after death. So you can see me there, and I'm the receptionist for the heaven. So I welcome the audience like, oh, welcome, hello, good death, whatever. And then I introduce them what existence effacement service is. So you can make the choice of whether you obliterate the entire evidence that you have ever existed on this earth, or you can let that trace remain. If anyone watched Harry Potter, like Hermione Granger erases her parents' memories entirely. So her existence is effaced from her parents' lives. So I asked people whether they want to do that or not. And I gave them an application and people had to write why they want to delete or why they want to like retain their data on the human realm. And through this piece, I wanted to ask people of their thoughts on digital footprints. There are maybe some embarrassing search histories that you want to get rid of, or maybe there are some sentimental reasons where you want to utilize those digital legacies where people can reminisce about your being on Earth. So I wanted to sort of provoke that question through this piece. And finally, my final piece was The Great Primitive Thinker. It was a short book that highlights the development of humankind alongside a godlike figure that turned out to be an AI. So I just spoiled the thingy. This actually was a piece that I wrote in my CLC class, and it was an SF novel. And I thought it would be like a good resonance for the IID exhibition. So I gained permission from both Professor Yana Kang and Professor Chris Lee to see if I can exhibit this. So this was actually not part of the class, it was just part of the exhibition. And to summarize this, it's going to take too long, but it's an option. If anyone wants to read about it, read it, contact me, but it's really poorly written, but it was a piece. Anyways, the exhibition will take place on fall, probably October, November, right? And trust me, it will be the highlight of your IID years. Everyone is very reluctant to do it. Trust me, I know it. I ran the exhibition. Everyone just sent everything so late. Everyone didn't want to do it in the first place. And I'm like, please send me everything so that I can make a fucking pamphlet, people. And then when the exhibition actually happened, everyone was so excited because it was really fun. Like, trust me, it will gain a lot of attention. People that you care will come. People that you have befriended and like people you didn't even know existed will come and come to your exhibition to see what you have did. And it is the best thing that I've experienced in my years in IID. So you should be excited. It's going to be fun. I know it's like really like, I know people run away without doing senior exhibitions. It is honestly their loss. It was the highlight of my years. And it was not just about the exhibitions because so many things happened after the exhibition because people started talking about our exhibition, not just my piece, but our entire exhibitions a lot. So I remember there was a friend from CTM, who's my dearest friend, who I saw like last week. She went to an actual exhibition ran by MMCA. So like Gukhyunmi before coming to our exhibition. And she came to me and like, so, like genuinely, this exhibition was better than MMCA. It was so much better. And I was like, oh, thank you. But anyways, and even after like, like when your guests come, you bring them to like get dinners and stuff. And like they actually engage with the pieces. They're like, oh my God, that piece was so interesting. It was so interesting. So people will actually start talking about our exhibition pieces if it's done right. And it didn't just end after the exhibition because it opened a lot of new opportunities for me. So as I've told you, I'm currently doing a PhD in human-centered computing. So basically HCI in Georgia Tech, which is one of the top 3 schools in HCI. And I was able to sort of introduce my senior exhibition works in SOP in my statement of purpose. So 자기소개서, and which is also the case for a lot of my friends who went to the industry as well, because not a lot of people will have an actual hands-on experiences or hands-on exhibition pieces where you can represent yourself as a designer. And that's especially special because most of those people come from art schools, Mide, but we're not art schools. We're design schools with interdisciplinary backgrounds. And to have both that background and a piece that you can sort of represent yourself as a designer is a big, strong suit for IID. And that's why one of the reasons why IID graduates go off to these amazing jobs in both Korea and outside of Korea. And also, actually, that's not a secret anymore. It was a secret last year. There's a competition called Pre-Ars Electronica. It's one of the biggest media arts festival in the world. And the past winners include Jurassic Park and Toy Story. My piece, AI Fortune Teller, won an honorary mention. It was chosen as one of the 15 pieces out of, I think, 2,000 something pieces. So yeah, that was really unexpected, but at the same time, it can happen because ID exhibitions like mine was not outstandingly special, in my opinion, in my cohort's exhibition. So if anyone else have admitted their pieces into not just Pre-Ars Electronica, but there are like a lot of different media arts competitions or design competitions that you can enter, and it can spiral out into something that is more amazing and will give you more opportunities. And the journey continues because I am currently, even today, pursuing my career in spiritual and death technologies. I have conducted similar projects in spiritual AI. And last year, I had a chance to attend a conference called CHI, which is the biggest conference in human-computer interaction. And I had a chance to present my poster on spiritual AI, which is not my senior exhibition, but it was a thread that I was trying to pursue at the time and still to this day. And there, I was able to interact with so many different people from Apple, and not just these 2 universities, apparently a lot of people actually came. So this was published last year. And then after a year, so many people are actually talking to me about, oh, I've actually read your paper, and they're discussing this with me a lot. So a little intimidating, but it's really exciting. So before I send you off, I want to emphasize that this is your graduation project. And I know a lot of people just try to do it to fulfill the requirements, or people just even run away saying that, oh, senior 1 is major requisite, senior 2 is not. I'm just not going to take it, not do the exhibition, and run away. But it's really their loss, because if done right, it will open a lot of door for you. And it's the pinnacle of the 4 years of your life in IID. So if you have cared your time here, you should do it. You should take the time, and you should really make it into something, because not doing this and putting your time into like your job market, that's not going to give you a substantially better job. I'm going to be honest. People who have done their job in this will have a good representation of who they are, with not just this round of job market searching, but years and years after that. But if you just focus on like your nearsighted job market searching this year, it's going to be that, and it's going to be done, and you're not going to have anything to show off that could represent what you have did in the past years in your IID year. So that's one thing that I want to say as like a Conde who graduated like 2 years ago. And also, sky's the limit. Find collaborators, explore more options than doing mobile applications, and find more places that you can show your piece. Like my AI fortune teller, it was not just me. I was the leading author, but at the same time, there was a professor named Yu Dong-hui who was a media arts master's graduate and also a Georgia Tech PhD student at the time, who is now a professor. And he collaborated with me and sort of guided through this in making that piece. And at the same time, I'm not a video person. I'm a video director, and I'm not an editor or like a shooter. So I recruited another editor to edit that video. So it was not just me, but because I was a leading author, professor has generously agreed that I could present this as my senior piece. And if you see a way to develop your work beyond what you can do individually, do that, because that's possible. And at the same time, find more places that you can show your art. Just doing your exhibition is a loss. There are a lot of different 공모전s and exhibitions and competitions that you can enter. And if done right, you might be the next winner of the Pre-Ars Electronica, which will give you a lot of visibility as not just artists, but at the same time, the designers. So do that. Highly recommend. And that's it for now. But before I finish off, I have several discussion questions to sort of like engage everyone with the experiments that Eugene is trying to do. So that actually is not my email anymore. Like, I do read that, but it's not my email. If you go into my webpage, there is my actual email that I use right now. So if you have any questions or guidances or any kind of, like, if you want to get coffee, just hit me up on my email. And let's move on to the discussion questions. Let me see. So the first question, before we move on, let's make sure the robot is deployed.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, before we move on, I'm just quickly, I want to introduce my custom project. So her name is Doha.
동화?
Yes, 도화죠.
도화?
도화.
아니요, 도화.
도화?
도화. So like 도와줘요. So yeah. So this is kind of just robot. Just you don't have to do nothing to do, but just think of her like a friendly classmate to help our discussion. Yeah, and I think she has something to say.
Yes. Cool. 이거 순서대로 물어봐야 되죠? All right. Should I ask the question?
Hi everyone.
Jesus Christ.
I'm Noah. Thanks to Sunho, I get to be here with all of you today, and I'm really excited. First of all, how awesome was his talk, right? Honestly, I'd love to be that kind of sunbae someday too.
I feel so
But
validated.
for now, I'm just here to hang out and hear your senior project.
Cool. So this is our capstone project. So just letting everyone know. Anyways, so I have 3 different discussion questions that I wanted to discuss today with everyone. And the first question is, what kind of a designer do you want to be remembered in the future? So if anyone can start off. All right, maybe she wants to answer.
I think I'd feel really proud if someone said their work truly paid attention to people, their needs and their context. How about you all?
She sounds
For
like
example,
okay.
imagine someone interacting with your design. What would you want them to feel or realize in that moment?
She sounds like Dora the Explorer. And it kind of annoys me. All right. Anyone else? What kind of a designer do you want to be remembered in the future? Or an artist, or any other profession? Mm-hmm.
I've never really thought about it, but it's a great question. So it's a little hard to conceptualize so quickly. But I guess if I have to imagine myself, dying and thinking back about my designer life, I'd say maybe be remembered as a person who has built tools and has been part of, building tools that have helped people to live a more autonomous life. So bring back their agency, and I mean in terms of like cognitive health, cognitive abilities, and just in general, like more fulfilled and autonomous, like life as a human being.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I am now realizing that this was a too philosophical question to ask as a first question. So not a good interview design. You should start with the grandiose design that's easier to answer. And also, thank you for sharing that. As I've mentioned, I feel like design is a field where we sort of shape people's lives using these tools. And that gives us the privilege and also the responsibilities to think about the ethical future that we want to bring to people's lives. And it doesn't have to be like a cutting edge AI technology. It could be as simple as like a talk button or something, and it can provoke different experiences, and that will change people's lives. So I think that was a really good answer. Thank you, Sasha. Anything else? Anyone else? Sure.
I think I want to be a designer like with a sparkle in my eyes,
Yes.
like that means like I'm giving my all myself, and I truly care what I was doing.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. What I always say is that a competent designer arms oneself with data and data requirements and insights, but a game-changing designer knows how to laugh and cry with people, is what I always say. And it's always the empathizing and knowing what you actually want to do with these people that you're working with. So I think that's really important. Having a sparkle in your eye means that you're curious about these people's lives beyond just doing it as your job. And that will surely make you a game-changing designer, hopefully. Let's move on to a more easier question. The second question that I want to ask is, why did you major IID? Or what did you enjoy the most during your IID years? What do you want to do after IID? And are these answers accumulated into your senior exhibition piece? So why did you come to IID in the first place? What did you enjoy the most? What do you look forward after IID? Past, present, and future.
I think everyone should answer.
Oh. Let's let Doha answer first, and then we can take turns.
I started IID thinking I liked making cool stuff, but along the way, I realized I care more about how design fits into real life. I'm curious if any of you felt something like that while working on your... One thing I kept thinking was, what if no one really understands what I was trying to say? Has anything like that been a...
All right, thank you, Doha. I'll start. We can do like a really short answer, maybe 2 sentences per person. I came to IID because I didn't know what it was. I was in a video team at the time, and my sonbae says like, "Oh my God, you should do this." And I'm like, "Yes, I'm gonna take intro to IID," and that's how I started, without giving that much thought. And I think I enjoyed the senior exhibition the most. It was the most fun. It was the accumulation of everything. So yeah. Should we go from? You already spoke, so let's go from there, and then we can take turns.
I started IID as a basic drawing.
Oh, nice. Kim Jong-sun 교수님's the best. Yes.
And the class was very different, so I liked IID, so I applied. And for my future, I'm not really going into design, but because I'm trying to get a path in development, and he's actually helping me a lot with just building things.
Yep.
And just that thought process of trying to solve a problem and having everything as seeing everything as a problem to solve.
That will set you apart from a lot of developers who just make things without thinking. Anyway, sorry.
For me, I enjoyed so far doing projects with my teammates, and I am still doing a lot of projects with my IID classmates, and I just like doing projects as a general. So maybe in the future, like continuing my my experience and my career, I will try to kind of use the skills that I've learned in IID, and think I'll do that in the future, I guess.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
You seem scared.
To be honest, at first I wasn't really into design, but rather I was interested in doing something creative. So I thought IID was the right place to like not fully, but kind of achieve what I wanted to pursue. So I'm still on my way how to not really in design, but specifically in design, but a way to do something very creative, have fun.
Cool.
I'm gonna speak in Korean. Because
Come again?
I was certain time.
Oh, sure.
제가 원래는 디자인을 하려고 하지 않고 만화나 영화 쪽 영상을 하려고 했는데 그랬던 이유도 항상 제가 만화나 영상이라는 그 이야기를 통해 사람들한테 제가 하고 싶은 말을 하고 싶어서였어요. 제가 생각하는 것들인데 남들은 어쩜 생각 못했던 것들을 설득하거나 그들한테 강제하려는 게 아니라 이런 생각도 난 할 수 있는 사람이라는 걸 얘기하고 너는 어떻게 생각해라는 걸 항상 들어보고 싶었는데 그런 걸 고민을 하다가 진로를 고민하다가 대학 진학 과정에서 또 연대 교수님이 IID8을 소개를 해주셨고 IID에 이렇게 진학을 하게 됐고 IID에 와서 그래서 이거를 하게 되면서 제가 생각했던 1차적인 만화나 영상 같은 것들이 아니라 디자인이라는 아예 새로운 방식으로 제가 하고 싶은 메시지를 전할 수 있는 방법을 4년 동안 배웠던 것 같고 그래서 이번 작업도 사실 그 사람들이 실제로 경험하고 제가 만든 툴을 사용하면서 제가 생각했던 이런 메시지를 전달할 수 있는 방법을 배운 것 같고 앞으로도 저는 이런 식으로 제가 생각한 그런 하나의 아이디어를 사람들한테 전달할 수 있는 일을 하고 싶습니다.
Cool. You should look into something called speculative design if you're still interested in making narratives. Talk to me after class. Anyways, to the front. Yes.
I majored in IID. I didn't change my initial major was SDC, but I changed to a design major because I realized I was always into like creative thinking and just like the arts, and it was just like a very like vague kind of like understanding of IID. But as I took the classes, I think I really enjoyed like interacting with a lot of people.
Yes.
I think even with your projects, but also in the phase of user research and stuff like that, I think you have the opportunity to really talk with a lot of people, in which really excited me actually. And I kind of realized, yeah, it's really fun to be able to like interact with a bunch of people and learn about their passions and what excites them as well. And yes, and I hope to continue being able to go out with a lot of people, learn about their passions, and yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, interacting with people's fun. You can do rock, paper, scissors. No, go ahead.
When we have to like choose our major, I didn't have any idea, and she was like really close. She's still my close friend, but was really close friend with me, and she was taking intro to IID class, and it was really fun. So I thought I might also try. And
same as I did.
Like I didn't really have deep thoughts at first, and then I really enjoyed learning new skills and also learning from my classmates, hearing new ideas.
Cool. Thank you.
At first, I was interested in CDM and IID both.
A lot of people do.
Since my Chinese people like didn't
really liked it because when I was in high school, I didn't have lots of group discussions or group projects, but in intro to IID, I did all the projects with my classmates. So it was so impressive and it was so good that I don't take tests. And
Yes.
I
Big perk.
Yeah. So that's just so good. So I thought that I should choose IID. And also it was very interesting that UX UI was very interesting because most of my other friends in other majors don't know about UX UI, still they don't know. And it was very interesting that I can study about UX UI and also the Figma tools and all the other design tools.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
It stays with you after graduation, so yeah. Right. Xian?
So I chose IID because when I first came to Yonsei University, I wasn't that really pleased with my life. So I decided I have to do something different from what I have done before coming to UIC. So when I looked at the IID curriculum, it was very different from other majors. So I decided to come here and do something different from my past lives. Not just studying and making notes, but you have to, in IID, you have to draw something or you have to think creatively. So I thought that was quite attractive, so I came here. And what I loved most in IID was that you can do anything,
Yes.
literally anything. So when I was in the course interaction design, I made a game and it was so fun, and now I'm quite obsessed with games. So in the senior project this semester, I'm also currently designing a game for
Oh, ambitious.
for Fear of Failure, the theme of Fear of Failure. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying it.
Thank you.
I chose IID because I was attracted to computer science and creating games and app development because I took basic app development class in high school and AP computer science, and so I chose IID because it was the only major with UX UI, yeah, and I'm actually really happy that I could make the actual apps and prototypes throughout my IID life.
Yes.
And I agree with Tian that we can make anything because we start from planning and ideation, and then we do all the research and we do all the designing and we do all the prototypes. So I'm actually happy that I could do all the process of planning to designing.
Thank you.
For me, I was doing CDM first, but then for the first year and second year, I was like, this is too theoretical for me, and I was not having a lot of fun. I thought of CDM would be more design classes, but it was not. So, and I was looking at IID classes and had a lot of classes that I actually wanted to take.
Yes, we make stuff.
And yeah, the classes actually what made me actually choose IID was I thought there was a lot of fun classes, and one of the most fun class I had was editorial design, and
yes,
that class what made me immediately apply as a double major. And I would say I'm more interested in aesthetic or visual design, but IID is not really, but I would say it's pushed me through that line. So yeah, that was really
glad you found your path. Thank you. Let's bring it to the front. Yeah.
Actually, the way I chose IID, it was really random because I was at the end of my first year and I have not taken a single IID class, but as the most good decisions in my life, somehow just intuitively clicked IID, and that was it. And I think I made a really right choice because after taking all of those diverse classes and being able to work on such different projects, I realized that that is the major that really fits me the most out of all here. And right now, I'm just really enjoying being able to work on so many different projects that are so diverse. And in the future, I hope to kind of being able to build devices and tools, but also do research. So I'm interested in going into HAI research, but into,
You're good.
it's getting worse.
You don't have to finish. Thank you.
Yeah, so I was originally interested in designing and developing stuff, but I wasn't really that capable or really that interested in the beginning. Not enough to like actually choose IID as my first major. But then again, ever since I was like in high school or something, I had something in mind that I wanted the capability of being able to create my own product or item that could actually be useful to many other people. And IID popped in, and it seemed like the most productive major in the school. So yeah, naturally that's how I got to join it.
Thank you.
For me, I think I was one of the rare cases where I decided to go to choose IID even before applying to UIC. I was interested in design in high school, and I thought, because I was also interested in not just pretty stuff, but also just interested in how to make people's lives better, I thought IID would be a great fit. But I realized that although with my interest and skills, I don't fit for, I'm not like a designer material, and now I'm pursuing to become a video maker, and that's what I'm actually doing for my senior project as well. So I mean, but I'm actually glad that I tried design during my college years, and certainly the skills that I learned here is helping me a lot in video making and just like in my life in general. So yeah, I just hope my pursuing skills and stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, before we move on, I feel like ID and design is a skill that is useful outside of design itself, because it's basically we learn how to understand people and we learn how to translate them into a language that can be materialized into whatever. And then we also learn the evaluation skills, which comes in handy in whatever major that you go to, even in like business or like consulting or marketing or even video making, because you need to understand what people want. And in that terms, I feel like everyone in this room, no matter which major you go to, will benefit, hopefully, fingers crossed. So thank you for that.
I like how IID is more like interdisciplinary major, because it's not just about art, it's not just about technology, it's more like everything. And before I knew what HCI and IID is, I thought design is more like an artsy, more like a very graphic
Me too, yeah.
thing. And I noticed, but I like art, but I wanted something with like a logical behind it. And I noticed IID is right in the right place for that. It's more like a logical design, and I liked how design has some kind of logic in it. So that's why I really like IIT. But I wanted to be a researcher before, but then after I submit a poster, I noticed if I'm not like a researcher kind of people person, so I'm still thinking which I should take, like research or like an industry person.
Yeah.
Still.
And that's a whole 3-hour talk. So
There are no.
yeah, there are.
Just one experience doesn't tell you whether you're, and it's more like your decision.
Yeah.
Because you are here, and I never expected I would be in a design related field when I was, until I got my high school. I was just studying my computer science engineering. But then I just chose to come into this field and the motivation was actually the graduate exhibition of KAIST Industrial Design Department. And then some exhibition looked very cool. I didn't have any idea of what they do, but I just thought, I might just try this. So simple and so just I just came into design field that way, and your 선배님들, seniors, alumni, they're in so many different fields. So as you just mentioned, whatever you go in the future, skills, I think you learn in IID will definitely help. So you don't have to feel like, oh, should I follow? Like, should I keep kind of this way only? No, you can go anywhere. And things you've learned again, your time here, that definitely pays off.
Thank you. Gigi? Yes.
For me, I dreamed to be a designer when I was young, but in the time there's no kind of like user experience. Like it was start beginning at the time, so I could only think like visual design or fashion design something. But I'm so bad at drawing something. Like, so I thought like, oh, this so I just followed the typical education in Korea, and I get interested in psychology. So I wanted to major psychology, but yeah, I finally came this major, but I found IID, and I thought user experience design is the same that design and psychology.
Yes, it's how HCI started, cognitive science. Yes.
So those things are the favorite for me. Yeah, so I'm really fun to study these things. And honestly, I'm so 쓸데없는 말 많이 하고 항상 장난 많이 치고 kind of person. But like when I do my study these things, I become so serious.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. So I think it gives sparkle.
Yeah.
I love this major, and even for a capstone project, I can see like every IID student are clear.
Oh yeah, every year. Every year.
Yeah, so I think IID is the best thing here I see.
That should be your exhibition title this year. IID is the best. No, sorry. Anyways, thank you everyone for sharing their stories, including Professor Kang. I was actually going to ask you what brought you into design, but you already answered. So anyway, and as a final question, this one not everyone has to answer. What scares you or stresses you the most about preparing for this exhibition, and what excites you the most about preparing for this exhibition is the final question. Should we let Tohaf speak first?
One thing I kept thinking was, what if no one really understands what I was trying to say? Has anything like that been on your mind, practical or personal?
Okay, thank you. Should I answer her question? Okay. All right, maybe 2 to 3 people. What stresses you the most and what excites you the most about this exhibition? Yes.
What stresses me the most is my pressure that I give myself, where I feel like this project is literally like the result of like 4 or plus years that I spent in Yonsei being a student here. So it's too much pressure that I give myself, and I feel like the project I'm going to end up doing is like literally the definition of who I am and what kind of designer I am and what kind of designer I want to show people that I am. So it's giving me a lot of pressure. So that's kind of what I don't like about it. And then the other thing I like is that this is for the first time I have freedom to do whatever I want.
Yeah, we don't have
which
guidelines.
Is actually also kind of, I realized that actually is kind of bad a little bit, because I'm like, I was so used to like a lot of that direction where like I get assignments and then we do things based on assignments, and I like that, but I felt a bit lost.
Yeah, I agree. It takes time to sort of conceptualize that in terms of like the stress of doing that. I developed a mental disorder preparing this senior exhibition. I was having like, for the first time in my life, like panic attacks and anxiety attacks. So I actually had to go to like psychiatrists and like take pills. Not just because of my piece, but I was also running the exhibition. So it was a lot of pressure, and I was preparing for the graduate admissions, as will you, preparing for job markets, and doing all these things at the same time will stress you out. So there are sort of people who can sort of manage that, but I'm not that kind of person. I'm very neurotic. So it's very important that you understand what kind of a person that you are and make sure you reach out for help if that happens. Holding on to that is not healthy. Yonsei does have resources, and if not, Korea, unlike the United States, will have resources that you can reach out at an affordable price. So to reach out and make sure you communicate with your professors, because if you're in that state, professors will cut you slacks in terms of like deadlines and also your cohorts in preparing exhibitions. If you're like not in a good state and you can't meet the deadlines or you can't like do anything, just like let them know so that they can move on and you can catch up later. So yeah, you're not alone. I've been there, so make sure you are prepared for that and also knows how to reach out. Thank you for sharing that. Maybe one last person? Yes.
Like similar to what she just said, I think the pressure of responsibility is can be overwhelming a little bit because like I've done capstone and capstone was difficult to say the least. But with capstone, I had teammates. We had divided our works, and I just had to focus and concentrate on my part. But with senior projects, I'm in charge and I have to make all the decisions. I'm the director, executor, and the designer and everything. So it can be overwhelming. And like for me, I'm doing a project that is not directly design related. So it can be overwhelming to just do it everything by myself and also try to teach myself at the same time. And yeah, just the feeling that it feels like, as she said, my 4 years of university years are being evaluated with this project and I don't want to fail. So just the pressure.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think I oversold this a little bit and made you like a little more pressured, but I don't know if it's reassuring or not, but if you end up actually, I'm sure you won't, but if you end up with like an abysmal piece, people will not remember it at all. So that's like less pressure. If you fail, like you're going to be forgotten and it's not going to be like, oh my God, do you remember her piece? That was like so fucking awful. No, people are not going to do that. People will not do that. So you don't have to be pressured about that. And also like, in terms of like non-design pieces, I wrote a novel and I made a book. So it can really be about anything. And at the same time, it's not just like it's not a representation of who you are as a designer, but it's an aspect of what you can do or want to do or have done before. So if you sort of like try to like distance yourself with the piece, it might be a little helpful. But yeah, actually, thank you for sharing that. All right, that's all the questions that I have for you. We have been here for about 70 minutes and we should have a break. But before we move on, if there's any questions that you have for me, I would love to answer that. And then after that, we will take a short break. And then this class is until 1:30? 1:30? Okay. But I don't think I will have enough time to give feedbacks to 15 different people. So maybe I'll just like sit here and people can come one by one and I'll give you like a 10-minute feedback if anyone needs any kind of feedback. So that's going to be the plan. So if any questions, open floor. If not, let's take a 15-minute break until 11:55. Wait. Oh, Towa's going to say goodbye now.
Thanks so much for having me today. I really hope your senior projects go beautifully. I'm rooting for all of you. Honestly, I think IID is one of the coolest majors at UIC. Hope we get to meet again someday. Bye for now.
Bye, Towa. All right, thank you. Hope everyone enjoyed, and I will see you in 15 minutes. Bye.